This is real footage of me getting my hair transplant in Turkey. Let me take you along with me to show you how the whole day went down. I woke up at around 7 a.m. feeling bald as ever, as my head was shaved 2 days prior to this for my stem cell therapy. I went downstairs to the main lobby to have some breakfast, and at 7:30 the driver arrived from Vera Clinic to pick me up and take me to the clinic. The ride was very calm. It was a beautiful day in Turkey, and I was super excited to finally get this done. We arrived at Vera Clinic, which looked beautiful as always, and they instantly took me upstairs so I could have my consultation where they would begin to check my donor area. What they do here is use a microscopic tool to check the strength of your donor area. They actually look at some of the individual grafts to determine a blueprint and draw up the plan for the transplant you're about to get, so you can get the most density possible with the most realistic results depending on your own personal situation. After the consultation, it was time to finally meet with the doctor and actually discuss the route for this transplant to get the most density possible. Quickly, I want to take a big moment to just thank the staff, because this is a very critical part of the transplant, really figuring out how it's going to go, and they listened to every single need that I had and wanted to be met. It didn't feel like they were just there doing a job. It felt like they truly loved what they did, and it made me feel really comfortable. What we're talking about here is where these grafts are going to go. This is my second and final hair transplant, so I really wanted the front of my head to be the absolute most dense as possible, but I only had 2,500 grafts, so they thought. So I told them to put the maximum amount they could in the front to make it the most dense and put the rest in the back to fix the crown. Come to my surprise, they did end up being able to get 3,400 grafts, so that was great, but this is what we're talking about here. Once the blueprint was all drawn up for the transplant, I went and signed some paperwork, and then we headed downstairs because it was almost time for the operation to begin. I changed into a nice drippy outfit for the operation. As you can see, I'm looking lavish. Then I had some blood work done, then we took some before photos, and then they gave me a Xanax to help me relax, because as you guys know, the worst part of a transplant is the very beginning, that numbing process with those injection needles. It sucks, but it's only a couple minutes long, but naturally you're a little nervous beforehand. Then I said some quick goodbyes, which does remind me, if you guys want to see the longer version of each day, it's also posted on my page instead of this voiceover version that's condensed, and you can truly see the nitty-gritty of the entire process. But it was time to go to the operating room where I would finally get this hair transplant. Obviously I couldn't film the entire 7-hour procedure, so I'm going to narrate what went down over some clips from the entire thing. So this clip that you're seeing is about 3 hours into the procedure. All of my grafts had been extracted from my donor area at this point, and now it was time for a lunch break. They give you about a 15-minute break with some food as well. It was a nice chicken sandwich, some baklava, some water and apple juice, just to recoup. The first part of the procedure is always the worst. The extraction process, you have to lay on your stomach, and those anesthesia needles do hurt a good amount for only about 3 to 4 minutes, and then you're completely numb and you don't feel anything for the entire procedure. I think a lot of people, to be honest, overreact how bad it hurts. It definitely hurts a lot, but it's not that bad, and before it gets too bad, it's over, because it's only about a couple minutes of pain, so it's really not that bad. It does suck though. It's the worst part of the procedure, and the first few hours you're laying on your stomach, so it's not as comfortable. But after this part, when you get to lay on your back where they actually put the grafts into the top of your head, it's very comfy. I was even talking to the people in the room while it was happening. You feel pretty relaxed. I got the DHI method of transplantation. As you can see, it's the most advanced version nowadays. There's a little pen that puts each and every single graft into my head, and the incision is much smaller than normally. It helps with healing, helps with results, and it really helps with the angle that the graft goes into the head so it can grow properly. Here's the big reveal of how I was looking directly after the procedure. They were able to safely extract 3,400 grafts. I got 2,100 of those put in the front of my head and 1,300 of those put in the crown area of my head. I was in great spirits, super happy they were able to extract more than expected, since this is my final transplant, and also just super happy that it was finally over with. The clinic provided me with a neck pillow, since you have to sleep at a 45-degree angle for the next 10 days, and especially this first night, you want to make sure absolutely nothing touches the top of your head, since it's basically an open wound. They also gave me some antibiotics that I have to take for the next week so nothing gets infected, and then they sent me on my way back to the hotel. We got back to the hotel, and instantly everyone saw the top of my head, and I joined the club of everyone else that was in this hotel getting transplants, as Turkey is the transplant capital of the world. I was starving, so I ordered a chicken sandwich using the room service and ate that up and munched it good. It tasted great, felt like a meal of victory. For the rest of the day, I honestly just relaxed. I found a comfy spot with my neck pillow and just fell asleep, and I ended up sleeping through the entire night. Stay tuned for day 5, which is the final full day in Turkey, where I get my first hair wash, time in the oxycure chamber, and also some red light laser therapy, and truly set me on my way for some great results from this transplant. Thanks for all the support. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.